Okay, hello and welcome to the video. My name is Wade Smith, and I am a first Q or black belt candidate in Ishinru Karate, and I also studied in the Gracie School for a year and a half in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And I mean, on my very first day, I tapped out both of the assistant instructors more often than they tapped me, so I didn't learn much there because I already knew everything they taught. And I never rolled with the chief instructor who owned the place, which is Raphael Ellwanger, who is Royce Gracie's cousin. He's a fourth or fifth. He's a fifth degree black belt now, but was a fourth degree black belt last time I was over there. I never rolled with him, but that's mainly because he doesn't roll with his students. First of all, and secondly, he only comes to class about once a month. So he doesn't teach except maybe once a month, and so nobody learned anything in his class. But anyway, this video is about UFC, the original UFC, where Royce Gracie had the easiest path to victory of anything I've ever heard of in combat sports or any sport for that matter. He fought in round one, he fought a 51-year-old retired boxer who had absolutely zero grappling or jiu-jitsu experience of any kind. No Japanese jiu-jitsu training, no Greco-Roman training, and no Gracie training. And he tapped him out within a few seconds. The dude didn't even belong in the tournament because he was way too old anyway. Who puts a 51-year-old against a 35-year-old? So his first fight was a complete joke, a complete farce, and a free win because anybody would have won the fight. I mean, I could have won the fight, and I was only 13 years old at the time. Um, so then when he got to Dan Severn in the finals, that was an easy fight, even though on points, not on actual winning the fight. He never would have beat Dan Severn by anything other than points. But Dan Severn could have absolutely clobbered Royce Gracie if he just threw a few punches and elbow strikes. He could have absolutely mangled Royce Gracie's face. But for some reason, he never threw a single punch in the fight until the very end of the fight when he realized, oh, I'm behind on points. I better do something. But the only reason Royce Gracie won the fight is because of points. That he threw a few punches to the ribs and kidneys from the fully mounted position and guard position. So if Dan Severn had simply thrown two or three straight punches and two or three elbow strikes in the entire match, he would have pounded Royce Gracie's face in. So I rest my case that Royce Gracie got a free win at the UFC. He had literally the easiest path to victory in the history of sports. And then it turns out he was a drug user his whole life anyway. So I rest my case that just because he won the UFC doesn't prove that BJJ is somehow better than karate either. He beat Patrick Smith, but Patrick Smith also had no grappling experience because Patrick Smith was entirely self-taught. And if he had actually known real Okinawan bunkai, he would have actually known how to beat Royce Gracie. Because I know how to beat Royce Gracie. I beat not his cousin, but I beat his cousin's assistant instructors the very first day I went to class. And they were second and third degree black belt professional fighters. And I've never actually done amateur professional fighting. I wanted to, but I got sick. But I was already sick back then in 2016, and I beat his professional fighters in roles in jiu-jitsu roles repeatedly more often than they beat me. I tapped Michael 3 times and he only tapped me 1 time the entire time I was there. I tapped him 3 times on the first day and he wasn't letting me do it. And I tapped Nunzio, the other professional fighter, who was a third degree super heavyweight black belt, and I tapped him with this and with this right here, which is stomach nerve 9, which idiots claim doesn't work, and it absolutely does work. He verbally submitted both times. because that absolutely hurts, believe it or not, right there. And if it doesn't tap you by itself, it makes the rear naked choke very easy, or the full front choke very easy to apply. That absolutely hurts when it's fully applied at the right angle, at a 45-degree angle under the nose. It will tap you out by itself. It's not banned in MMA, by the way, but this is banned in MMA because you're not allowed to pinch the flesh in MMA. But you can do it by just jamming your thumb between the muscle and the bone right here and pulling out. And it's going to tap the opponent out. I could have tapped him with this, but it would have dislocated his jaw. But yeah, Dan Severn could have and should have beat Royce Gracie if he just threw a few punches and elbows. So don't go tell me that Gracie Jiu Jitsu somehow works better than wrestling, or certainly that it works better than Japanese Jiu Jitsu, because Sakuraba beat all four of the Gracies using Japanese Jiu Jitsu. They had to throw in the towel the first time for Royce, and he got absolutely embarrassed. And the second time, he was definitely on performance enhancing drugs because they caught him and disqualified him.